Hope you're all still awake. Late Night Mega here. And a few things I forgot to mention in the tutorial last time, if you guys skipped the tutorial. This is the third Duel Masters game that came out on the Game Boy Advance. I do have the first one. I used to have the second one, but I couldn't find it. But I decided to just play this one because, well, in all three games I pretty much end up using basically the same deck in all of them. I'll go over what that deck is and why I think it's the best, and we'll probably be building that. I will try to vary up the decks too and make use of some other cards in that. But yeah, all the gameplay is basically the same. The plot is of these video games is, well, who really cares, right? It's not great. You're not missing much. And so rather than do all three games, I figured I'd just do one. I had a lot of responses when I did the Shadowverse playthrough of people wanting more card games. And I mentioned Duel Masters a couple times, and some people got excited. So yeah, that's why I'm doing Duel Masters. But I'm just going to be doing this one. If there are other card games you would like me to play on the channel, ones that aren't just like online player versus player games, but ones like this, I'm not aware of too many more beyond this that I would actually be playing. Like, we've done Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist. I don't think I'm going to do any of the other Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, especially not the ones that came out on the Game Boy Advance, or so. They're just not as good. And I've done the Shadowverse. I do have plans for the Pokemon TCG that came out on the Game Boy Color, but beyond that, I don't know. So if there's other ones you want to see, you know, leave a comment, let me know, and I'll look into that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. I know what I'm doing. Don't worry. It's a Let's Play. We have to start with a new... I get to name my character. Can I name him Late Night Mega? Will that fit? These sound effects are weird, by the way. Late Nig. We're not going with that. Okay, then we'll just go Mega. It sounds like a dog is half barking. That's so weird. Alright, difficulty mode, easy. These games are already easy enough. Also, this game being the third game in the series, it has the most cards. I don't know what set it goes up to, but there's 600 different cards in this game. I played the actual card game, just the base set. I stopped playing it before even the first expansion came out, which was called Evo Crushionators of Doom. Yeah, the expansions have really weird and long names. Again, I think it's just meant to sound really cool because they were marketing this towards a younger audience. Normal. Yeah, we're going to do this because I'm a competent player. Start with a pre-built deck. I don't want to do that. Senpai. Create a deck from... Well, I know how to create a deck, so we're going to do that. Buy 40 cards using 100 or less credits and create a new deck. Number of this card in your deck, price of... Oh, wow. Can I just start with... So I have 100... Oh, okay. Can I just buy whatever I want? I do want Emerald Grass. Okay, so I can just buy whatever I want? Well, that's absurd. Maybe I don't want to do this, because otherwise I'm just going to break this game right away. Especially when the... Okay. Sort by... Well, we'll sort by rarity, filter by... Oh, we can even filter by the symbols. I don't want to do that. Booster. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this must be base set, Evo Crushionators. I could really just get all my cards from that. Let's just see. I'd get at least 3 Emerald Grass. I'd get these. Yep. I'd get these. But yeah, we're gonna end up with a super good deck if I do this. The Vizier of Air, what does he do? Oh, you can untap it, so your opponent can't really attack it, I guess is the thing. Blocker, Angel Command. Angel Commands tend to be expensive. I like the 2 mana, 3,000, always a 3,000 blocker. Holy Awe, oh, that's a good one. That's a shield trigger. I could so just break this game. Ooh. That's expensive. Wait, you're not giving me... Where are you? Maybe you are giving me everything. Oh, that's right, I filtered like this. Then we go here. What's this thing do? Oh, you can draw a card, and this thing is a common. Yeah, I would pick up those. I keep doing that. Larbagear. This is an evolution. I'm gonna grab that. And then we would go Darkness. Critical Blade. Yeah, Horrid Worm. This is the card. This is my pick for best card in the game, or at least one of them. So whenever this thing attacks, your opponent discards a card. Oh, it's a random discard too. Your opponent doesn't even get to decide what they discard. So remember how you have to give your opponent extra cards and give them card advantage as you're attacking and breaking their shields and that. This kind of negates that card advantage, and if you guys know me, I am all about generating value and gaining card advantage over my opponent. It's, in my opinion, one of the easiest and best ways to win basically any of these card games where you're competing against your opponent, whether it's Shadowverse or Duel Masters or Magic the Gathering. There are other strategies that work, of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! But I like having more cards than my opponent, and I like taking my opponent's cards away. This thing does it like the best. And look at this, we could use 1 credit to buy these. I think I'm not... Chaos Worm, what does this thing do? I remember this thing being good. Evolution. Oh yeah. 5 mana, 5,000 power, you evolve a Parasite Worm. But that's a good one too. I really should not do this. I'm just gonna break the entire game doing this, and because I could also get... No, go back to the base set. Bloody Squeedo, I remember that card. That 2 mana for a 4,000 power blocker. It can't attack at all. Yeah, it can't attack at all. But when it wins a battle, it gets destroyed, so it's kind of like a one-shot blocker. It's okay to run a couple of them. Death Smoke. That'll kill... That'll just kill a creature, right? It has to be an untapped creature. Yeah, gotcha. And then we could get, like, Terror Pits, Writhing Bone Ghoul. I know I keep saying I'm not going to do this as I keep doing this. Look at this, there's my 40 cards. And we'd have a very good and usable deck right away. Let's not do that. So we can, you know... Okay. So, let's go over the civilizations. Yeah, there's things here. So, Darkness Civilization involves discard. It involves, you know, creatures with Slayer. It involves cards that destroy your opponent's creatures, so I do like the Darkness Civilization. Fire is usually about creatures. There's a lot of power attackers. There's a lot of aggressive, quick creatures as well. But I don't think fire or nature have any blockers. Darkness has some blockers, but as you saw, like with the Bloody Squeedo, they're a little bit weird at times with the type of blockers that they get. And in my opinion, blockers is like one of the main pillars of this game. You want to have good blockers to stop, you know, the early aggression of your opponent, and then lock down the game. And this is why I think Light is the best. Now, Light and Water, both of their blockers will be very similar in terms of their power to mana ratio. Like the Light Civilization has the 2 mana, 3000 power blocker. Water has a same one as well. The difference with the Water's blockers is that the Water blockers are restricted so that they cannot attack at all. And I think that's a very big hindrance to them, because you want to be able to attack tapped creatures, and for that reason I think Light is the best of the 5 civilizations, just in general. And I usually make a Light and Darkness deck, if you haven't guessed that by now. Water can also be usable. Water is also known for having like some sneaky things that can't be blocked, known for card draw that can be good. And Nature's known for kind of bigger creatures. They'll be on rate, but some of them can also scale even bigger than usual. But yeah, I'm gonna take Light. Unbelievable. What an astoundingly astute duel. You can say that again, Peter. I would, Max, but I promised my mom I would. The dialogue in this game is very weird. Huh? What the heck are you talking about? Yeah, I'm talking about Mega, of course. One of the most amazing duelists come through the ranks in years. Of course. Fans will remember. There's none other than Mega who defeated... How the heck do I... Gairuko-jo Japan some months ago. So this is referring to the second game, Saved Us All from Extinction. From what I remember, like, the final boss in that game was, like, this monster or warlock or someone that was trying to... Well, you saw the name on there. And he was trying to summon, like, real monsters into the world to destroy the world, and we put a stop to all that. Okay, we had... The grand prize is a new personal Pocket Gizmo 2005. Yeah, that was... I think that was the year this game came out. Much improved over last year's model. You can use it for email, manage your cards and decks, to read Duel Masters information, play minigames, and more. Cool. Press start to... Yeah, that's just how to... Okay. Okay. Picture gallery and more. 300 credits and 3... Oh, so we're starting the game getting boosters. That's the base set, which is good because I want base set cards. Tower Shell. It's a colony beetle. Can't be blocked by any creature that has power 4000 or less. Well, that would be pretty decent against my strategy. Except my strategy also has creature removal. Ooh, Dianork. Moonlight Guardian. I like this card. 4 mana for a 5000 power blocker. Can't attack players, but that's okay. Pangea's Song, a 1 mana spell. Put one of your creatures from the battle zone into your mana zone. That's not good. You're spending a card to lose a creature that you also spent mana on. That's such a huge tempo loss just to get mana. You can't even play that on turn 1, even though it's a 1 mana spell. Meteosaur. I'm going to look at cards differently a bit too, based on my experience with Magic the Gathering and Shadowverse. This seems decent enough. I mean, it's overcosted for the power, but the power only matters when you're attacking other creatures. Being able to kill something upon entry is pretty nice. This is just a 2 mana, 2000 power, yeah, attacker, no special abilities. Mighty Shouter. Oh, I remember using this card too. Yeah, destroyed, it goes into your mana zone instead. So it's 3 mana for 2000 power, but it goes to your mana zone when it dies. Cool. Wandering Brain Eater. Okay, can't attack at all, so this is a darkness blocker. 2 mana, 2000 power, so it's kind of on rate. It's worse than Light and Water's blockers for the same mana value. So I guess Darkness gets some of that as well. Writhing Bone Ghoul, I don't think this has, yeah, no ability. Fire Sweeper, Burning Hellion, some of the names are just over the top long. Yeah, Power Attack, I'm familiar with that card too. Okay. Oh, this is the Evo Crushionators of Doom. I remember that being a yellow pack. Metal Wing Sky Terror. Usually cards that have Sky Terror in the name are pretty good. Attacks, you may destroy one of your opponent's creatures that has blocker. Destroy it before your opponent can block with it. And it's Double Breaker. And it's 7 mana, which is a bit expensive. I'm going to try not to have too many cards that are more than 6 mana, but this would be one I would actually consider, just because it's both a Double Breaker and it can destroy blockers. But 7 mana is a lot, especially if your opponent spends like 4 mana on a Death Smoke and just kills the thing before you do anything with it. Grey Balloon blocker, can't attack players, it's a ghost. There's a ghost evolution that's really annoying to deal with. I remember people in this game playing it. Armored Cannon Balbaro, evolution on a human, plus 2000 power for each other human in the battle zone. I don't think that's one of the better evolutions. Win the Oracle. Whenever attacks, you may choose one of your opponent's shields and look at it. Yeah, so that's a card that can, like, look at one of your opponent's shields. It's not necessary, because you have to destroy all their shields anyways. It could give you information about a shield trigger that they might have. 4000 block. Oh. Ew, I didn't remember Water getting these types of blockers. I know someone did, but yeah, this is 4 mana for a 2000 power blocker, so it's way below rate, but notice it's not restricted on its attack, so it can attack. 2 problems with this. Number 1, you can't attack and block within the same turn cycle, because when you attack, your creature's going to be tapped, and then it can't block because it's tapped. Number 2, if you're playing this on turn 4, your opponent's going to have creatures out there with 3,000-4,000 power. What is this thing going to be blocking at that mana value? And actually killing? It's just going to throw itself into the thing. I think that's a bad card. I wouldn't use it. Attacks each turn of able and power attackers. So, yeah, a little bit above rate when it's attacking. 2 mana for 3,000 power. But it is forced to attack, which can be a downside. If your opponent has a blocker that's bigger than 3,000 power, this could just be forced to run into it, and you lose your card for nothing. Though you might break a couple of your opponent's shields before that happens, which is the idea behind the card. Yeah, I don't want to spend 2 mana and a card to just look at 3 shields. Because you're going to have to break those shields eventually anyways. Oh, we got a Horde Worm. We're on our way. Critical Blade. What does this do again? Shield trigger. Oh, it destroys blocker. Well, that could be useful. Silver Axe. I don't remember this card. You put the top card of your deck into your mana zone. Alright. There's a 3 mana 1000 power creature that will, when it enters, it will automatically put the top card into your mana zone in nature. I would probably play that over this, because this would require, you would need to attack twice, and have this thing survive at least 1 attack, which is hard to do with 1000 power, in order to get the same as the other creature. And also, because you have to wait a full turn cycle before this attacks, then you put the card into the mana zone, and then it's another turn before you get to use it. Whereas the other creature I'm talking about, it enters, you put the top card in the mana zone, you get to use that mana on the next turn. So, yeah. There's a lot of cards that I think are just sometimes worse or just not as good as... I don't know what this set is. It's the purple set. They're just not as good as cards that came in the base set in Evo Crushionators. When this creature attacks you, you put a card from your mana zone into your graveyard. If you do, this gets Power Attacker, plus 3000, and Double Breaker. So you sacrifice a mana, which is not good. But you could get an early Double Breaker. That's probably the cheapest Double Breaker you could get. Mana Nexus, what's this do? Shield Trigger. Add a card from your mana zone to your shield's face down. Add a Shield Trigger. That's pretty good, because you can put things with shield triggers into your shields. Yeah, that card can be annoying. Hangworm. Fetid Larva. No special abilities, and it's 5 power 4000 worm. I don't know about that one. Sparkle Flower. I love Sparkle Flowers. I don't know what this card does. All cards are light. This has blocker. So it's an unrestricted blocker, but only if you're an all-light deck. And it's a little bit underpowered for that. You want your blockers to have more power than your opponent's stuff. What does this do? Each of your creatures gets Double Breaker until end of turn. Choose one of your shields and put it into your graveyard. Huh. I could see that in an aggressive deck. Roar of the Earth. I'm going to read a lot of cards, because I don't even remember what a lot of these things do. Most of them probably won't matter. Turn creature costs 6 or more from your mana zone to your hand. I don't think we need to mess around with that. All cards are darkness cards. This creature gets plus 2000, so it's a 4 mana 4000. I probably wouldn't run that. Sword Butterfly. Power Attacker plus 3000. Butterflies can just gain 3000 attack power. Okay. Somebody buy this card a vowel and don't make it an I. When this card is put in the battle zone, return a card from your mana zone to your hand. Then your opponent chooses a card from his mana zone and returns it to his hand. It's a symmetrical effect. I don't know how good that would be. Can't attack if your opponent has more creatures than you in the battle zone. That can be a very aggressive thing. Alright. Here's an extra bonus for you. A picture for your gallery. That must have been our opponent in the final round. I have rambled all this. There's the main character from the anime. Yep, I had it under control. The opponent really pulled it out in the end. Yeah, no big deal. I had a great time anyway. I learned some stuff. I'm just disappointed that we never got matched up. I know, what are the odds? All these tournaments and we've still never met in battle. Maybe next time, huh? Hey, I can hear those fans howling for you. I'm about to let you go. This must be my lucky day. 2 great Duel Masters players in one spot. My readers will be so happy. Care to do a quick interview? Holy cow, why not? Great, we'll start with a few questions for you. Shobu, yeah, that was his name. Shobu, I like that name. My character looks so nervous. Like, why? He just agreed to do an interview and now he's like, I don't know. Come 3rd in the tournament, what gives? Ouch, Minta. Minta is her name? Okay. I'm gonna call it like it is. Well, to be honest, I was trying out some new ideas, using mostly cards from the new expansion. I guess I went a little overboard with my theories. And the newer expansions probably just suck. I think that might be one of the reasons this went downhill, is that a lot of cards were just not good or better compared to the earlier cards that were introduced. I know Wizards does try to avoid making cards that are strictly better, and I think in this game, that sort of design just kind of hurt their ability to make unique cards that do unique things, because there's very little you can really do. You can play things, you can block, you can attack, and you can play spells. My strategy. I stuck to tried and true strategies. Works for me. Had some new ideas, but I got luckier. Oh, well, the tried and true strategies. Any winning strategy tips? Fast attackers, break those shields. That is one way to play. I like putting out blockers and control what your opponent does. Yeah. I prefer not to reveal my... Like, I just had a tournament in front of thousands of people. You could all see the cards I was playing and the plays I was making. Recent misadventures with the notorious Girajiru Japan. I know I did not pronounce that the same way as last time. It is what it is. According to legend, it was because of you two that this world was... Yes, overrun by vicious... Okay. Shobu's suspicions. I will give him credit. We like him. Okay. Uh-huh. Can't believe we never dueled. Well, we could... come to the mall. There's a new shop opening there. Alright. Now that the new expansion is out, I need to visit a shop. I want a couple of those new super rares to finish this cool deck I've been building. Yeah, there's rares, and then there's like super rares, ultra rare, maximum rare, whatever the case is. What was it? Yu-Gi-Oh! Started with the whole super rare, ultra rare thing, and other. It seems like every other card game just kind of started doing that too. Like, even Magic the Gathering came out with mythic rares. Marketplace is closed. Mr. Daba's shop. So this is our map. Park, Harbor, we can't... I can't even go to the mall right now. I also gotta go to Mr. Daba's shop. Look who it is, everyone. Mega, congratulations. Everyone in the shop was watching, cheering you on. That's cool. Before I forget, set aside some new booster packs for you from the Thunder Charge of Ultra Destruction expansion. Just absolutely ridiculous names. So this is the silver or gray pack. I don't even know what any of these cards do. Unless creatures tapped, your opponent can't use the shield trigger ability of his or her shields. Cryptic Totem. That's actually pretty good. Alright. Instead of having this creature attack, you may tap it, use its tap ability. Add one of your creatures from the battle zone to your shields face down. Interesting, but a little bit roundabout. Tap ability, return one creature from your mana zone to your hand. Again, a little bit roundabout, because you still have to play a mana and be able to cast the thing. Oh, that can't be attacked, and it's double break. What? 6 mana for a 7,000 power creature, essentially, that... And it's uncommon? Okay, I guess there is some level of power creep in this game. As if you're just looking for a double breaker, there you go. Light Stealth. Ah, yes. Can't be blocked if your opponent has any light cards in his or her mana zone. So, there's a lot of cards in this game, in some of these later expansions, that are like anti one other color anti-light or anti-water. The problem with them is I want to build a deck that will be generically good against anything I come up with, not something that I can only use against light decks to have an advantage, or just end up having a very mediocre creature otherwise. Yeah, when it's destroyed, your opponent discards a random card. That could be reasonable. Would be destroyed, you may draw a card. Also could be reasonable. Though there's one that in water that I think enters and draws you a card, which would be better than waiting for your creature to die. Yeah, see, darkness or water creature. Your opponent puts that creature into his or her mana zone. Now, you could just say, well, Late Night Mega, you could always just put this into your mana zone yourself if your opponent's not playing darkness or water creatures. True. Problem is, what if you draw this late in the game when you really don't need any more mana and your opponent's not playing water or darkness creatures? It's just a completely dead card, right? Like, we could put it into our mana, we could use some of those other nature cards we just saw to take creatures out of our mana zone, put it back into our hand. But I don't think that's kind of slow and not the most efficient thing. Let's just focus on killing our opponent, right? Put the top card of your deck into your mana zone? Okay. Again, same problem as the other thing that has to attack to do the top card into the mana zone. Nature, Stealth, yeah, we don't... Gezere? Okay. Not interested in any of those cards. Yeah, the first card you see is also like the rare in the thing. That symbol is, well, it's beyond rare. Battleship Mutant. Instead of having this creature attack, you may tap. All your darkness creatures get plus 4,000 power and double breaker. Whenever any of those creatures battles this turn, destroyed after the... Okay, so you'd kind of want to use that as a finisher. I don't know, but what if you play it and your opponent kills all your other stuff? It's situational. And in my experience, in my opinion, the more situational a card is, the less good it's going to be overall, and I'm going to gravitate away from those things. Now that would be kind of interesting if this thing didn't cost 6 mana. Of course, if it didn't cost 6 mana, if this cost like 3 mana, it would be super broken. Being able to come out very early. Coming out later makes it probably not as good. Add one of your creatures from the battle zone to your shield's face down. Oh, we got that already, didn't we? Fruit of Eternity. Uh-huh. Shield trigger. Till end of turn, when one of your creatures would be put into your graveyard from the battle zone, put that into your mana zone instead. I don't think this card's good. Like, you're gonna cast it and then what, ram your creatures into your opponents? Ideally, you would trade, so you'd have to have equal power to get your creatures, assuming it's on your turn. If it's not on your turn, you use the shield trigger. When your opponent breaks the shield, they've already attacked you. And then you have to go, oh, I hope you attack my other creatures. I suppose with blockers it could work. But they could also just, you know, stop attacking, because all attacks are one monster at a time. And then you can just choose to stop attacking whenever. You don't have to attack with everything. This creature can't be attacked. That's annoying. There's that thing again. Vacuum gel, what does this do? Yeah, lighter nature. Not interested. Aqua Agent. Water Stealth. When this creature would be destroyed, put it into your hand instead. Returning to your hand is interesting, but I'm pretty sure there's Gotta be more efficient cards that do that. Our friend Tatum is opening up a new shop in the mall soon and is hosting a 5 Civilizations tournament. She asked me to ask you to stop by if you get a chance. She's guaranteed you free admission to the tourney if you promise to sign a few autographs for the fans. Where do you find it? In the mall. You should be able to find your way there. What do you have to say? Survivors of Megapocalypse cards yet. No. No. We have 3,000 credits. Can we buy... Oh, we can sell cards. Yeah, you can only have 4 copies of any card, so any extras, you can sell them. That's actually very convenient. So we got base set, Evo Crushinators. I mostly just want base set stuff. I'm pretty sure base set and Evo Crushinators. Rampage of the Super Wars. Look at the Shadow Clash of Blinding Night. These Stompatrons of Invincible Wrath. These are just hilarious names. Let's get some base set. Because I know what these cards do. Chaos Strike. Doesn't that let you attack an untapped... Yeah. You can attack an untapped creature. Tornado Flame, Bone Spider... Oh, when it wins a battle, destroy it. Well, you can probably use it to break your opponent's shields and it won't die. Super Explosive Volcanodon. Power attacker plus 4,000. That's a lot, but then you could have like a Jade Tree. Oh, cool, we got the Jade Tree. Oh, cool, we got this thing too. Oh, the stars mean they're new, don't they? Candy Drop. Oh, isn't this... Can't be blocked. Oh, that's... There's a deck we could make with that. Golden Wing Striker was this do? Power attacker. Alright. Marine Flower. Yeah, see, this one can't attack at all, but it's still the same as Lights Blocker, the 1 mana 2,000 power thing. But this just can't attack players. I still want more base set. Grand Gur Space Guardian. Oh, I like this card. 6 mana for a 9,000 power. It's a blocker. It can't attack players. But, like, nothing is going to get past that. Trihorn Shepherd. What's this do? No special ability. Oh, we got a rare and a ultra mega duper rare in the same pack. Cool. Dark Raven Shadow of Grief. Yeah, the 4 mana for a 1,000 power blocker. Like, what are you gonna be blocking? You can't even block and win a combat for a 4 mana creature. You can only block, chump block, and just throw your creature away. Or at best, you could trade with a card like Deadly Fighter Braid Claw that has 1,000 power. This is horrible. Don't play this card. This is my pick for one of the worst cards in the game. Like, yeah, any creatures that can attack your opponent can technically win you the game, but some just do it way better than others. Oh. That's like a 4 mana version of the what was it called? Mighty Shouter? Spiral Gate. Well, that's reasonable. A nice little tempo play. Fearfang, Fatal Attacker, Horvath. I like the name Horvath. Speaking of names, it has... Can't attack players. Okay, so yeah, nature does not get... I'm pretty sure nature and fire civilizations just do not get any blockers whatsoever. But they will get a few of these things where they're a little bit higher on the power, but they can't attack players. So basically you have to, instead of having a blocker, you play this, you let your opponent break one of your shields, and then you attack back and kill their thing. And then you just keep repeating that process. Ghost Touch. That is a random discard. Okay. I don't think we really need one-for-one random discard. Not like that. I want, like, repeatable discard effects. Like the Horrid Worm. Nomad Hero Gigio. 5 mana, 3000 power. It can attack untapped creatures. But it's only going to win battles with things that are 2000 power or less. This is a bit overcosted for my tastes. If it was 4 mana, 3000, I'd consider it. Aqua Soldier. When it would be destroyed, put it into your hand instead. Alright, so a creature that just never goes away. If your opponent doesn't have a blocker for it, they're kind of in trouble. So if you're on the strategy of just attacking the things your opponent attacked with to kill their stuff, it's not going to work very well with Aqua Soldier. There's another power attacker. Merfolk. You have a Cyberlord, draw up to 3 cards? That's not bad. Fire Sweeper, we've seen that. Artisan Picora. A nice aggressive creature, but you lose a mana. It could be used in the in a very aggressive deck. Aqua Vehicle, no special abilities. Yeah, that's just undercosted and underpowered. Don't play this. Bloody Squeedo we've seen. Yeah, this video is going to be a little bit over, and we're not even going to get to a duel. We will get to dueling next time. Tower Shell again. Natural Snare. Oh, this was, yeah, a nature thing. So you can put one of your opponent's creatures into their mana zone. It does accelerate them, which can be bad in the early game. But it will get rid of other creatures, and some creatures, like the Aqua Soldier that you can't just kill because it goes back to their hand, puts it in their mana zone and gets it out of your hair entirely. Yeah, it's the untap thing. Okay, Coiling Vines. Revolver Fish, this is just the 4 mana, 5000 power blocker. Can't attack. Aqua Vehicle. Brawler Xyler, we got him. Alright. Let's get a couple more base sets. We don't need to see cards flying. 5 mana for 8000 power. It's gonna come with downsides, right? Destroy 2 of your other creatures or destroy this creature, and it's a double breaker. Okay, so this is a cheap double breaker. The problem is you might not even be able to play this card if you don't have 2 other creatures in play when you play it. And you're sacrificing 2 other cards just to get this. That's kind of putting all your eggs in one basket. Your opponent death smokes this or uses that bounce card on it, and you're just so sad. Moonlight Flash. Ooh, tap 2 of your opponent's creatures. Now that, it takes a little bit of setup, but we could use that to get some card advantage on our opponent. Untap all of your creatures in the battle zone? That doesn't sound bad. So our blockers could attack other creatures and then we untap them? Alright. There's Emerald Grass, our first one. Resoul the Oracle. No special abilities, alright. Black Feather. Ah, there's La Uragiga. Oh, we have 5 of them now. So we got 4 of them in our deck already, which is cool. La Purification Enforcer. It's a Berserker. It's a giant ball of whatever that is. Blocks. No special abilities. It's a little bit above rate. 5500 for 5 mana. I might play that. King Coral. Yeah, here we go. A 3 mana, 1000 power. It's a blocker. It can attack. It's just gonna die to a slight breeze. Like, why play this over anything else? Opponent discards a random card. 5 mana for 1000 power is very, very small for that effect. Especially when Horrid Worm exists. Destroy one of your creatures. I'm not interested in doing that even for a little bit of extra power, because power doesn't matter when we're breaking our opponent's shields. One of your opponent's creatures and tap it, so it's a one-shot. It's also... I don't think we need that. Oh, Crimson Hammer. This, we know what this does from the tutorial. I'm not going to go over that. Ghost Touch. Burning Mane. No special abilities. Fascinating. I do like this card. We're playing that for sure. The Vizier of Bullets. This is just, yeah, no special abilities. Probably worth playing. Alright. So next time we're going to tune up our deck a little bit before we get into games. We'll get to games, I promise. But for now, I'll take my leave.